All right. Okay. How's it, Oaks? Welcome to the Straight Line podcast. Today, we have a young rider. Well, not so young anymore. He's young according to me. I've known him since he was 15, 16 years old. Jose Kleinsmit. The reason why he's here, I want to find out a little bit more about what he's doing, where he's going, what his plans are, and let's get a better idea of racing in Europe and, you know, what we can expect. Jose, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jesse.
Lekker, nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Before we go into nitty-gritties, like I said when on the intro, I've known you 15 years old. That was the first time you came to the track.
Yeah, I think so.
That was how many years ago? We were on
4 years ago?
4? It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
So Jose came to the track, noticed, shit, this guy's got power, he's really good. And we started working, he went to SA Champs. Kraskorp, you won the time trial, you won the road race.
Yeah, I think we went to Swardini first. That was our very first.
In fact, under 17, yeah, that was in Swardini. You won the crit
And the time trial.
and the time trial.
Road race, I crashed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember we were in the car park before the race. Mom was saying, "Should we take the spare bike?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, you normally don't need a spare bike." We needed that spare bike.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 2020.
One.
I remember because on my phone, the memories on the iPhone on your cover screen, the Photoshop. Actually, one came up this morning. It was you, Gustav, Jenna, Jesse,
Yeah.
and I think there was another one. And I actually showed it. I looked at it this morning. I thought, sure, come a long way.
Yeah. No, we have. Graskop was after that. I think
Yeah.
that was
That was the
first
start
big
of it.
one. Yeah.
And then from there, we prepped to go to Tel Aviv. First, we went to Abuja. Yeah.
Nigeria.
It was actually a fast track.
Yeah, it was.
Eh? It was nice to move conquer. It was flipping bottom there.
Yeah, no, I have to say Nigeria's track was, I think, one of the better tracks I've ever ridden on.
Yeah, once you're in the track and in the facility, it's like minus all the other stuff around there.
Yeah.
But you're on there, it was quick. What you ran?
3:27.
27. I remember. I was taking your splits on the side of the track, and JP Fonsell came over and said, "Shit, this guy's smooth. Your splits were bang, 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 bang. And spot on for each one."
Yeah, I remember in that final was against Mike Jervis, and then he went out and went banging the
Yeah.
first kilo.
Yeah,
He
you.
like quarter of a lap on me, and everyone was like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
I remember you only.
And then my lap splits were like,
Yeah.
this, and then
You were spot on. You only came ahead of him, but like it was 2 laps to go.
Yeah.
Because obviously he went for a kilo, he went, bah, everything was coming on you, and then it was like, okay, here comes the parachute. And it was just like, the last 2, then you started coming at him.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went to Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
The team pursuit, we had pretty decent there. Now I'm here, now that you're here, I'm glad we can talk about this. In my report back to Cycling South Africa, we ran, was it a 4:22?
I think so. Yes.
4:20. We beat the SA record by marginal, but I mean, that ultimately wasn't the goal. And in my report afterwards, I said, with the group that we had there, on purely based on a physical point of view, I feel we could have gone 4:18 if we had had a bit more time training together to get the changes right, to get the sequencing right, and get the order right.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think you were in the middle of it? I mean, I'm on the outside taking splits, watching as best I can, but you were the one in the middle of the fight. If I said 4:18 versus 4:22,
I think.
do you think was it doable?
Yeah. I think so.
And I still said in my report, if we had ridden a 4:18, that would have placed us, I speak in a correction, on 8th place.
Sounds correct.
Which is, it's not exactly, as a rider and as in management, when you invested into something, you want to go right to the end, but you got to be realistic. When you go to World Champs, you're competing against teams.
Yeah, the team pursuit at World Champs is a bit of a difficult one to get into at the highest level.
Just to get the guys out there, some of you guys are listening have been to World Champs and you've seen what goes on. But for the guys who haven't, on the warm-up days, all the teams, you have like a 2-hour slot and you share the track with like 4 nations, because you have to do it like that. Because if imagine you have everybody rolling into the track, it's going to be an absolute mess. And for every day that that we were there in the build-up to it, the Italians were always on the heat or the training start after us. And the first day you see them get on, there was, I think, 22 of them rolling on the track. They split up into groups of 7 and 8. Now, you look at these guys, and each rider is riding a bike that is probably about 250K. And you just look at it, I mean, they decked out. When they're there, you know it. You go, this is 22 times 250K a bike. That's significant. And now, it's not the actual hardware value. You must know the effort that's gone on behind the scenes in order for you to qualify your spots, to have that opportunity.
Yeah, and also like them, if I remember correctly, a lot of the riders did the team pursuit.
Yeah.
Only did the team pursuit.
Yeah.
And they also had 5 riders, I think. That swapped around between the heats and the finals.
And all of them rode negative splits.
Yeah.
So in order for you to ride a negative split in a team pursuit, that is you repetition, drills, because you don't just roll in and say, okay, let's run negative splits. And it's one thing to say let's run negative splits, but to do it, it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
So then from there, your path in particular, you came back to South Africa and then you went across to Australia for road champs.
Yeah, Holland.
Talk us through that. I mean, that was your first big international road race.
Yeah.
What did you take from that?
I think that's where my eyes went a bit open to see the level of the guys. I almost want to say that's going to make it on the road one day.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of the guys that year that did well, they got contracts into the World Tour and stuff. And to see that they were obviously very, very strong.
Yeah.
But I finished 50th in the road race.
Yeah.
So, I also thought, it's achievable.
Yes.
In my mind.
But also, just to put things in perspective, at World Champs, how many riders started? Can you remember? Is it like
150, I think?
150?
140?
And World Champs is almost always some kind of a lap.
Yeah.
So typically what happens at World Champs, 150 start, and then a large percentage of that, I'd say more than half, don't actually finish because you're on the circuit, and I think when you reach a certain cutoff, they pull you off, or riders get pulled off by themselves. So first objective was that you actually were in a position to be able to finish.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, you could finish. So, yeah, I mean, if you say, I'll finish 50th at the world, some guys will go, that's not so lucky. I mean, that's not good. But to put it in perspective.
Yeah, also as your first proper road race, on that level.
So, I'm glad your first road race at that level.
Yeah.
Besides for the physical effort, what did you take away from that the most?
You really need to be able to handle yourself in a bunch.
It's technical.
Yeah. You can't just be at the back of the bunch and be the strongest guy. You'll still get ridden out.
I mean, I had a chat with Dylan a few days ago, and
about the crits.
Dylan is cock strong. He's got a motivated engine. You don't win SA under 23 time trial champs 2 years in a row because you're okay riders. Yeah. He's got the engine, and he was saying that you go to a crit, you're flapping at the back. You can have the engine, but if you don't have the riding skill and the riding ability,
no, you won't. You won't stick in there.
Yeah, it's more often than not, it's not the strongest rider that wins. It's the guy who knows how to race that wins.
Yeah.
And I keep on saying this, the South African overall, the South African rider's technical riding ability is not where it should be. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. You spent a lot of time last year in Holland. Tell us about that. What was your experiences? What did you learn from there?
Learned a lot. So it's my first time in Europe also racing.
Yeah.
Only having done World Champs. So I went there, first race there, I think I was there for maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
I did a 3-day ECR stage race.
Yeah.
Couples and everything, proper European racing. And that, I would say, was about twice as bad as World Champs in terms of if you can't handle yourself in a bunch.
If you say handle yourself in the bunch, what does that mean?
Where you need to be there.
Okay, so
at the front of the bunch.
Okay, so I'm going to try.
Let's say into a cobble sector, because the road's 2 meters wide and you're a bunch of 150.
Exactly. I'm going to try and paint a picture. The road, which is not the lovely tarred road that we train on here, it's a pretty shit road.
Yeah.
and you've got how many guys? 150 riders.
Yeah.
And everyone knows, go onto the section of road that's 2 meters wide, you have to be at the front. So if you've got 150 riders thinking that...
Yeah, it's 150 guys who want to be there.
Yes.
And you do make sure that you're one of the, let's say, 25 that's actually in good position.
That make it to get there.
Yeah.
So technical riding ability is very, very important.
Yeah.
I would say that. I mean, we will touch on this a bit later, but the overall experience when you're in Europe and what people perceive versus what the reality is. But Junior Worlds in Wollongong, you had a good year, eye-opener. You saw what it's about. There were a few tick boxes that said, okay, need to work on this, need to work on this, need to work on this.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go fast forward to 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so last year, SA Champs in Oudtshoorn.
I just prepped as well as I could for that.
Yeah.
Without that being, I would say, my main goal for the year.
Yeah.
2022, I reckon, was probably my biggest goal for the year. The start of the year, I would say. But I just made sure I had to be who I needed to be. Then I won the time trial there.
Yeah, you won the time trial
and the road race.
And the road race, yeah.
So 2 years in a row as a junior, winning both.
And then there was the Criterium there was also a Criterium in Oudtshoorn, which unfortunately this year they couldn't hold one this year. But in my personal opinion, I think Criterium is most important. But yeah, we'll touch on that later. So the Criterium, where did you run in the end? I remember.
I think I got fourth.
You were fourth there, but
yeah, it took 1 lap to go and then got brought back.
Yeah, Ethan Coulson won. Coulson won that crit.
Yeah.
Ethan Coulson, for guys in Joburg don't know him, he's a rider from Paul. Very, very good tactical rider. He knows how to handle himself in a bunch. And in a race at Criterium Champs SA last year, physically he may not have been the strongest guy. No disrespect, Ethan or Ricky, but he knew how to race, and he raced the race in those conditions, and he won. So fast forward, you finished up here in South Africa, you go through to Holland. Now, you left South Africa, lofty dreams, lofty ambitions. Yes, you think, okay, you land in Schiphol Airport, you'd land there. What happened from there? Well, did you have a team bus waiting for you? Did you have your fans waiting for you?
No ways. No, you land there, you're on your own. You have to go try get something to eat there at the airport.
Yeah.
Try not lose your bags, get all your bags there. Then, none of us here know how trains work. So, it took like an hour for me to figure out how the trains work.
So hang on, you landed in Schiphol, you get your bags, you go through passport control. Okay, you go through the gates. Okay, here I am. There's no team there. There's no team bus waiting for you. So you have to find your own way. Grab something to eat. So then you have to find your way to the train station. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then you have to go look. There's a big toll there. Okay, I'm on that train. I'm going to that Dorpy. So you got to find your own way. Find your own train station.
Yeah.
Okay. So parents, kids, this is what happened. I mean, when Dylan was here yesterday, I'm going to keep it real all the time, just so that you know what's going on. You get to Europe, you got to find your own way.
Yeah. No one's there to hold your hand and get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
You're on your own there.
Okay, so you get on the train, you go to the town where you're supposed to be, and then when you get off there, I'm assuming you had someone from the club or the team was waiting there for you.
Yeah. So they just to take me from the train station to my accommodation.
Okay, then your accommodation. How does that work? Where is it? Is it a hostel? Is it a B&B? How does it work?
So I was staying in Botsley.
Okay.
So it's like a bunch of houses just together, and then you rent a room in a house.
Okay, so it's like what they call a villa house.
Yeah.
And in Belgium, it's called a villa house.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you're there, does your club say to you, okay, here, Jose, here is your race schedule. So when you go there, for the next 3 months, I've got this day, these are my races. Is that how it works?
Race, yeah. So you're not 100% all the races, but you know more or less which ones you're going to do.
Okay. And then you were quite fortunate, because I know that some of the guys, you went to Holland, there was obviously a bit of structure. There's some of the guys that go to Belgium, similar situation where you land there, you've got to sort yourself out, get to your accommodation. That if you want to race there, you've got to go look at I forget the name of the website, but you've got to book
all. It was like basically Belgian cycling website for races. Yeah.
You got to book all this stuff. You've got to stay in, sort out your own accommodation. You got to find you stay in a house or you stay in a villa, Hasten, then you've got to find out where the races are. Then you've got to get yourself to the race.
Yeah.
Do the race, get yourself back. So if you are at the level where Ryan Gibbons is and where Louis and Steph are, there it's a different story. There you get the guys waiting for you, and you get turned around and you get taken around. But when you're trying to make your way to get to that level, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, you know, you've got to know, be prepared, know the train stations, know the train lines, and you know where the towns are. So when you go to the races, you know where you're going.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, most of my races also had to go, to the town where the race was by train, and then you'll have someone there pick you up at the train station.
Did you ever miss a train and miss a start?
No, luckily not. But I did miss a train one time.
Okay.
But I had an hour built in always. So then when I missed my train, I was just like, cutting it fine.
Shit. Okay. So then at least from there you could have, okay, cool, I missed this one, but there's something else coming.
I just had to make sure the next one I didn't miss.
Okay. So then you get to train, you get to your drop off point or your get off point. Yeah. And is the club waiting there for you or the team waiting there for you, that they'll take you to the Dorpy where the race is?
Yeah, most of the times.
And then when you get there, you get on the start line of a race. I mean, how many riders are you looking at? Are you looking at 50 riders, 100 riders?
150.
150 riders.
Yeah.
On
I didn't do a single race. I didn't have a full start list.
Sure. Okay, that's big. And then the races there, obviously you were junior last year, so you do have a limit on the distance that you can race. But I mean, as a junior, what was your racing distances?
Most of the races was about 120 Ks.
Okay.
Stage races, sometimes you'd have a stage that's only 100 Ks.
Yeah.
But you'll also have a 130 K stage.
Okay.
It's not like you were just doing 50 kilometer stages.
Short stage. Yeah, you're not doing short stages. And then the circuits when you're there, do you ride a lot of laps, or is it like, ride from this town to that town and back? What do you do predominantly there?
Yeah, mostly circuits.
Circuit racing.
Yeah. There'll be, bigger circuits, let's say call it 20 kilometers or so. Okay.
And then are there a lot of Criterium there? They're called Paris Roubaix.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of those happening? And the circuits there, what is their distances?
I actually only did a few of them
when
I was there. But yeah, it's quite short laps, like kilometer and a half.
Short laps. And then on start line those races, how many riders are you looking at?
Probably about 70.
So 70 riders on a kilometer and a half circuit.
Yeah. And it's not like, your Criterium, like just as an example, that's, nice straight roads, like racing here through a town, left, right, barriers.
Left, right, you go past the Oaks front door on a little narrow road where you don't want to blitz them down.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you need to be, so in order for you to be a successful European rider, you need to be able to handle your bike, number one. So technical ability is very important. And the racing there, a lot of the one stuff is circuit racing.
Yeah.
And you're looking at 150 riders on a start line of a road race. Okay, so it all adds up to quite a high pressure situation, high stress situation.
Yeah. You know me for a long time. That's something I used to struggle with quite a bit.
On the technical side, yeah.
Yeah, but like when you're over there, you just sort of pick it up because you have to.
Yeah, there's a old saying they used to say in the army, FIFO, 15 or fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to make it work.
Yeah.
You have to make it work.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so fast forward to 2024. Okay, so we've just finished with our provincial and SA champs. What's your movements from now?
Next Thursday, 22nd of February.
Yeah.
I'm flying again to the Netherlands. Staying there for 3 months. Again, same team, just under 23 version.
Okay.
Doing some UCI races there.
Okay.
Hopefully, just trying to get a good result in some of them.
Look, we were talking just now before we started this about the team and the structure and how things work. So, are you going to stay at the same hostel or house this year?
Yes.
And then from there to get into the bigger races, please correct me if I'm wrong. The area or the region that you're staying in, there's a few different clubs.
Yeah.
And then the region has a team. Now, this team will pick riders from the various different clubs, and then from this combination team, you guys will then go ride the bigger races.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then this regional team, do they have like a full-time manager, a full-time mechanic, a full-time masseur, a full-time team director?
Yeah, so they'll always take like someone out of the clubs to basically then work for the regional team for whatever race you're doing. You'll always have 2 directors, and there'll always be a mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of your races.
And from your race calendar that you got so far, what's your first big race, and when is it?
My first big race is Ronde van Limburg.
Okay.
The 3rd of March.
Okay, so that's what, 2.5 weeks away? 3 weeks away? Okay, and what's the profile like of that race? Is it flat in Holland, or is the climbing apart?
It's like,
or is it,
basically same profile as Amstel Gold Race.
Ooh, so very little straight roads, always left, always right, always
left,
narrow roads.
Right, up and down. Yeah.
Okay, and
also not wide roads.
yeah. It's not easy there. And when you go to this Limburg race, I mean, who's racing there? What teams are racing there?
There'll be quite a lot of Conti teams there.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how much, but quite a big majority of the teams there will be continental level.
Because that's in Holland, I'm assuming you're going to have the feeder teams of your Jumbo and of your DSM, because they're from Holland.
Probably, yes.
And then will you have the same thing? Like you'll have your Soudal feeder team. Will they do something like that?
I'm pretty sure they will, yeah.
Okay, and then this is a question that has many answers. Like, how do you see yourself making the step from riding on the team where you are now onto a Jumbo, a DSM, a Soudal? What would be the paths?
Right now, I would say just trying to get a good result in a big race this year. Also, obviously, just training and getting better numbers. I think that's always a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting better numbers and actually showing teams that you can also
do
it in a race.
When I asked that question, I said it's a long-ended answer. Like, what is considered a good result and what is considered a borderline result?
I'd say top 10 is a good result.
Okay, so say Limburg, 2 weekends time, you run 5th place.
Yeah.
What is the general pattern from there? Okay, you run 5th place, which is a mood of a result. What now? Do the teams come banging down your door saying, give us your information?
No, so cycling is a bit of a strange sport. You always have to know people and work through the people you know.
Yeah.
Just try and get in contact with teams yourself.
So then, say you get 5th place. That would kind of put you in the hierarchy of your team selection, because if you get a 5th place, that's cool. That kind of puts you on the map. But then you need to follow that up with either very strong performances, or results. But now for you have to make, and I would imagine this happens to a lot of the teams, the younger riders who all got ambitions of riding the Tour de France, making it to the Pro Tour, that you have to, number one, you have to make selection from your team first in order for you to qualify to ride those big races.
Yeah.
So it's not like you go there and your team, you got 8 guys, and every race you go to, you've got 8 starters. That means you can ride every race. You have to make selection within your own team.
You have to prove to your team that you are good enough to ride the races.
Okay, so when you said that now, I've got something jump in the back of my head. On the start lines, you're looking at 150 riders at each start.
Yeah.
And typically you would have, each team would consist of 5 to 6 riders at a standard race.
Yeah, I would say they're about 5 to 8 riders.
Let's work on round numbers here. You've got 150 riders, and each team has 5 riders. So that would indicate you've got 30 teams on the start line. So 30 of those 30 teams, each team doesn't only have 5 riders.
Yeah, it's the best of the whole team's roster that gets picked for that race.
There you go.
So it's like 150 riders out of a pool of, let's say,
500.
500.
Okay, there you go. So, yeah, just
because a bigger pool of riders than we have over here.
Exactly, much bigger. And when you go there And when you get a ride on a team, don't you think, oh, okay, well, cool. The cliche, when I leave OR Tambo and I get on the plane, there's automatically 10% power for you for free now because you're going to Holland. It doesn't work that way. So when you go there, it's an opportunity to start racing. And don't think you're going to get a start in every race. You still have to make selection from within your own team to get to go to the race.
Well, I mean, look, I think that's the thing with cycling. You have to constantly prove yourself.
Exactly. And now we go right to the top. A guy like Jonas Vingegaard. He won the Tour de France, probably the best stage race rider in the world. But the second he crosses the Champs-Élysées, the second you cross the Champs-Élysées, your race is over, but your new race has begun.
Yeah.
So that proving process starts again.
Yeah.
So cycling is it's an unforgiving
you
sport.
Can't just go, yeah, I won this now I'm good.
No.
If you don't do well in your next race, people are going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, you know what's a cliche? You're only as good as your last result.
Exactly. Fortunately,
yeah.
It's very true.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we touched on the team and how the structures work. And again, I know this will be an easy answer to say, because I want to be pro. What are your ambitions? Where do you see yourself, or where would you like to position yourself in the world of cycling?
Hopefully, everything goes right. I really want to try and get on to at least the Pro Continental team within, let's say, the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, my real big ambition, I would say, is to get a start in Paris Roubaix. And yeah, I mean, I also sort of want to prove, to younger South Africans that it is possible.
Definitely. Definitely. And for the guys who watch this podcast, and I keep on going on about it, that the youngsters need to know that if your ambitions are to race in Europe and to get to the top levels, it's not easy. And I'm hoping through this channel, riders can get an idea of what it's really like. I chatted to Dylan yesterday, and as you go along this process, chatting to Jose, and as I go along this process, when I chat to riders who are there, that are living it, so that you can bridge that, kind of start to bridge that gap, so that the riders know what they're in for, and it's not just, okay, I'm here now, I win SA Junior Champs, and I want to be in the Tour de France. Okay, cool.
Like there's a lot that happens between, let's say, where someone is, like you said, won Junior Champs, and let's say to get to the stage where Ryan is now.
Yeah,
that's a massive
gap
still that needs to be crossed.
Yeah, and guys, listen to this. Just keep an eye out for the soap. We were talking before we came on here, that you want to start some kind of social media activity when you are there.
Yeah.
And to show the riders, the young riders, old riders, what it's like. I mean, the build up into races.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think there's not too much about, let's say, guys like me who are not from Europe.
Yeah.
Actually doing that kind of stuff, showing what it's like over there. You're on your own there.
Yeah.
To just try and make everything work.
Yeah, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows,
No.
So just show guys. So guys, if you're watching here, when you get something up and running, I strongly suggest that you go have a follow and just get an idea of what it's really like.
Yeah. I'll maybe try and get something up just before I go.
Yeah.
About my last training and stuff here. Because I've also been training pretty hard.
So
I have to back-to-back like 25-hour weeks.
Tell me about yesterday. You said you had
that was a shocker. So last week I did also like 25 hours.
Yeah.
I've done it before, but you're pretty tired afterwards.
Yeah.
Then I went out. Tuesday I had 3.5 hours of some sprints. Got back yesterday. I had 5 hours. Went out. As I went, I was like, "Ooh, it's a big bottom."
It's cockbottom.
Yeah, cockbottom. So we're riding, and as I came back, about 3.5 hours, and I started feeling that this is not like it.
Yeah.
So I weighed myself yesterday morning. I was 66 kilos.
Yeah.
Did my ride, everything. I was eating and drinking the whole way. So I wasn't eating or drinking.
Yeah.
Got home, weighed myself. I was 63. I was
so 3 liters.
3 liters.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you're saying you felt pretty cuck.
If you have 3 liters less water, you will.
That's 5% of your body weight.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
Not so lekker.
Yeah.
But Jock, thanks for coming on the show, and
Pleasure.
we look forward to watching your progress and see what what can be achieved. And I like what you said you want to do. You want to document it.
Yeah.
I will share it. So just so that all of you guys get to know what it's really like. Vinnie Smith's done a very good job of it over the years. He's documented a lot of his stuff. But I think if we can get more guys doing it, Jose's coming up in the ranks now. He wants to be at the higher level. But if you can start documenting things from the early days, so riders out there can see what it's like.
Yeah, it's like not just see what it's like at World Tour level. You get to the airport.
Yeah, that's
people getting you there. You go home to your own apartment.
Yeah, that's a different league.
Yeah,
like you say, get to Schiphol, get your bags, jump on a train, get to the other side. Hope that the guys are there to pick you up. That's
so otherwise you have to trek 4Ks in the snow.
Yeah, but that's reality. That's what it is. You've got to go through that first to get to the Ryan Gibbons stage where you get picked up and carried around.
Like I said, from when you win junior champs, you want to get into World Tour. It's not just like boom stops you there.
No. It takes time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks for coming around, and we'll be watching you. Chateau. Cheers, guys. Cheers.